todos, ¿qué tal? Soy Erika. Bienvenidos a mi canal. And if you're new here, welcome. I am a professional Spanish teacher who likes to upload some of her lessons onto YouTube, as I believe that learning Spanish should be accessible to everyone. So if you're interested in learning Spanish or you are already on your journey, please consider subscribing. I do have lessons that I use in real life and I upload them to YouTube, so I'm sure that you'll be able to learn something. Pero bueno, hoy vamos a aprender del el pasado imperfecto, the imperfect past. Entonces vamos a empezar con qué es el imperfecto y cuándo lo usamos, la conjugación y, como siempre, un poco de práctica. Pero bueno, empezamos con qué es el imperfecto. Entonces, el imperfecto o the imperfect past en español es usado para describir acciones repetidas o habituales del pasado. Entonces, so it is used to describe repeated or continuous actions that took place in the past. So something that you did in the past for a long period of time, like you always used to ride your bike to school, kind of like in English we say I used to do this, or I was 8 years old. Algo como así es el pasado imperfecto, ¿ok? Entonces, en esos contextos. Vale, vamos a hacer algunos ejemplos más para que puedas entender un poco mejor. So, some more examples to help your understanding of what it is. So, en estas frases tengo el imperfecto. Entonces, cuando tenía 8 años. So, when I was 8 years old. So, as we can see, being 8 years old was something that happened for a long period of time. Y por eso usamos el imperfecto y no el pretérito. The preterite, if you haven't seen those videos, I also have other ones, but the preterite is the past tense used for an instant moment. Like, for example, here, you'll see, I will say when they fell. So, that is the preterite. The imperfect is used for a continuous, repeated action in the past. Okay? So, siempre miraba las novelas. I always watched novelas. Yo vivía en Madrid. I lived in Madrid. Carla caminaba cuando se cayó. Carla was walking when she fell. So here we have the imperfect. She was doing something continuously, but she was interrupted by the fall. And here we have the preterite. La maestra enseñaba cuando el director le llamó. The teacher was teaching when the director interrupted and called her. Okay, so aquí tenemos el imperfecto también. So, es usado para acciones habituales o repetidos en el pasado. Okay. Bueno, ahora vamos a ver la conjugación. How do we conjugate it? Es muy sencillo. Entonces, por verbos de AR, so, tenemos que quitar el AR del final del verbo. So we get rid of the AR from the verb, leaving us with the stem. And we plug in, just like any other conjugations, we'll have haba, tú habas, él haba, or ella haba, usted haba, nosotros habamos, vosotros habáis, y ellos, ellas, o ustedes haban. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples, but these are just the endings that we would plug in like we would in conjugating in the present tense or the other past tense. So, a ver, algunos ejemplos. Let's see it used in your context. So, yo siempre caminaba a escuela. So here we have the verb caminar. So I cut off the last two letters, the AR, and I just plugged in aba. Okay, yo siempre caminaba. And so that means I always walked to school. Tú andabas por la calle. So we have the verb andar, which is like to go. So in the imperfect, it would be andabas. So you always went by walking on the street. Él ayudaba a su abuela. So he helped his grandma, but it was something that he did often. Ella pagaba. So we have the verb pagar. So ella pagaba. She paid por la electricidad. She always used to pay for the electricity. Usted estaba caminando cuando se cayó. You were walking when you fell. Algo habitual or continuo. It was something continuous. You were walking, but then you were interrupted by you falling. Nosotros siempre hablábamos español juntos. We always used to talk Spanish together. So hablar, now I added habamos, so hablábamos. Vosotros tomabais demasiado cerveza. You guys used to drink way too much beer. Okay, so tomar is habéis, and because it's in the imperfect, it gives us the insinuation of como en inglés, like you used to do this, like, but it's like always you used to do this. Okay, ellos ganaban siempre cuando jugamos fútbol. So they always win when we play football. Okay, so or they always won when we played football. Sorry. Okay, so it's something that they always used to do. There's that continuation implied and it's in the past. Okay, that's why we're using el imperfecto. Ahora a verbos de er e ir. So now ir and er verbs. This is very easy because you only got to memorize one chart here. Okay, so it works for both. So entonces para yo, it would be, the ending is ia, tú, ias, él, ella, usted, ia, nosotros íamos, vosotros íais, y ellos, ellas, ustedes, ian. Okay, so it's really important not to forget the tilde on the I. That's a little mark where we usually put the dot because that lets us know it's like an ia. Okay, so algunos ejemplos. Entonces, aquí, cuando yo tenía joven, so we have the verb tener. So I cut off the ER, added ia. So cuando yo tenía joven, siempre bebía leche con chocolate. When I was young, I always drank chocolate milk. Antes, tú corrías siempre para hacer ejercicio. Before, you always ran to do exercise. El mercado vendía churros el año pasado. So last year, el mercado vendía, that's the verb vender. So el mercado vendía churros el año pasado. So last year, the market sold churros. Martín vivía en San Juan. So that's the verb vivir. Martín used to live in San Juan. Alberto y yo leíamos cuando Carla nos interrumpió. Sorry for the typos. Alberto y yo leíamos cuando Carla nos interrumpió. We were reading when Carla interrupted us. Okay, it's not like we were reading. That's what makes the imperfect, okay? That it's implied that you were going to be doing something continuously, but you were interrupted, okay? In this context right here of this sentence. Okay, vosotros escribíais sus notas de mano antes de comprar un ordenador. So you guys always used to write your notes by hand before you bought a computer. Okay, so it was something you did habitually. You always wrote your notes by hand. Belén y José temían los payasos. So Belén y José always were afraid of clowns. Okay, so as you can see, these are all habitual. Here we have the habitual verbs, things that they always did or were. And so that is why it's el imperfecto. Y es muy sencillo. Solamente tienes que quitar el er or ir, and you just need to plug in these guys right here. Okay? Pero bueno, ahora un poco de práctica. So, escribe algunas frases describiendo qué harías cuando tenías joven. So, write me a couple sentences about or just one sentence if you want, about something you used to do when you were young. So, mándeme tus frases en los comentarios abajo o mándamelos en Instagram para que puedo corregirlos para ti. So, if you want to, you can write a little comment about something you used to do as a child using the imperfect. That way I can check it like a teacher really would in real life and let you know if you made any mistakes. Or if you'd rather do it privately, you can also message me on Instagram, which I will leave down below as well, and then I can reply to you there privately as well. Y bueno, esta fue la lección. Make sure you do the practice. It's a great way to actually learn a language. Y bueno, I hope to see you in the next video. Y que tengas un buen día. Adiós.